Shit, man, I ain't got to do a whole lot of explaining. I said what I said, I did what I did, as people know I did. But there's also people who hate. Once you open up that door, you know, or you subjugate yourself to anything on the internet. So I'm not gonna be back and forth arguing with bitch about what I did and what I did. But like me, bro, I don't have the luxury of being a sucker.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't got the luxury to be no sucker.
Live struggle legacy. It's a whole movement.
Hey everybody, it's your boy MP, Live Struggle Legacy, and welcome to the Live Struggle Legacy podcast. Now real quick, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, start a conversation. If you have a question that you want to ask our guest today, drop it in the comment section. If you're listening on a streaming platform, please make sure you hit that follow button, download, save, rate us, and if you're looking to promote your business, holler at me because we're looking for sponsors. All right, y'all, I got a very special guest in the house tonight. True St. Pete legend right here. I've been watching this dude since I was probably 10 years old. No exaggeration, maybe even younger than that. None other than the legendary Black Label Big Bad Bodyguard to the Stars. Black Label. Welcome to the
spot, baby.
Welcome to the show, brother. Welcome to the show. So we're just gonna dive right in. Now, normally I ask a question about, how do you feel aligned with this platform, and do you feel like it resonates, bro? It couldn't resonate any deeper because you've been through that struggle, right? This podcast is all about transforming pain into purpose, taking adversity and transmuting it into legacy. And I don't think there's a better example than Black Label right here, bro. So a big part of what I want to do tonight is really give you your flowers, brother, because I know where you came from. I know what you've been through. And so to see you out here making the moves that you're making, and you've been making them, right? You didn't waste no time. I can look back 6, 8 years ago, seeing you doing your thing, bro. Right. And you already know when you come from where we came from and you've been through what we've been through, everybody don't make it that far, bro.
They don't.
And so to see you on this journey with what you've been doing with your story, your branding, your podcast, and the reach that your story is getting, bro. I mean, I feel like I made it with you, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what you've been through. I the stories that you're telling on these pods, bro. I know these places. I was right there watching you when you pull up in the blue van. You know what I mean? Like, listen, bro. I mean, we were jits. We were a little bit behind you, but like, and the fact that you're out here doing positive things, bro. You know what I mean? Helping people, sharing your story. And the thing about story, what I love about story, Black, is you never know who's listening. You never know who could be going through what you're going through. And here, to you, it just might be another day, another story, right? But to somebody else, you might have said something that could have saved somebody's life that day, bro. You know what I mean? So I mean, let's dive right into it. Who is Black Label? How'd you become Black Label? Man, tell the people your story, bro.
Oh, man, I don't even know where to start, gangster. Shit, Southside St. Pete.
You was born and raised, right? Bayfront, baby?
Yeah, baby.
Yes, sir.
Baby. You know what I'm saying? Trench, baby. You know what I'm saying? That back there behind Boogers Creek and shit. You know, I can remember, running through Boogers Creek. They're talking about the many lights chasing you and shit. You had to get across the creek. You know what I'm saying? I remember all that shit. Bicycle days, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. We had Crocs back then before it burnt down. You know what I'm saying? You had the Piggly Wiggly, barbecue stand and all that shit back
Reds.
Then. Reds, you know what I'm saying? Red Snack Shack on the late night hike. Yeah, that shit was $2 holler at Pineapple. Yeah. Three brothers. Yeah. Shit was real, man. Shit was real. But man, back then you ain't had too many white boys back then. You know, it just wasn't, especially down in that area. You know, to my Harbordale was trifling. You know what I'm saying? I had recently, I stay up the internet with my stories and shit, you know what I'm saying, which is good. Controversy is good. I love it. Two things. I had the St. Petersburg police actually comment on my post on Facebook, and they say, "Listen, man, we really glad that Black Label out here doing a positive things he doing because that man was a demon.
They knew
They knew it, dog. And they think I be bullshit while I be telling like back in our day, man. Say Petersburg police, they weren't coming down. We had the green team with Rambo, Glover, and the other little short dude. I think his name was Short Mike or some shit. But there was a jump out, and then you had Cagney and Lacey, the two white girls back then. But that was it. But even then, like, they wouldn't even focus on our block. They was worried about the prostitution on 4th Street. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Little shit like that. Like, people don't believe them. They think, and then, like, in the comments, they be like, oh, it's illegal to drop your mail off other than your house. They don't understand, bitch. I'm not talking about 2026. Yeah. I'm not talking about 2020. Bitch, I'm not talking about 2000. I'm talking about pre-Wi-Fi era. Yeah. I'm talking about pre-Twin Tower. You know, when the Twin Towers, that's when we had, you know, everything got shit to implement. Yeah. I'm talking about even the electrical grid ain't even the same 30 years ago as it is today. Yeah. So it's a big controversy talking about the 15 stoves in one house and all this whole extra next shit. Man, I ain't got to do a whole lot of explaining. I said what I said, I did what I did, as people know I did. But there's also people who hate, who can't believe it. It's a young white dude came from this hard earth, and a lot of people like, no, he didn't. No, he did. They may troll. If you typing, you ain't fighting. Yeah. That's me. Yeah. If you typing, you ain't fighting. You feel me? Like you typing on the internet, you ain't fighting. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't here. Once you open up that door, you know, or you subjugate yourself to anything on the internet. So I'm not gonna be back and forth arguing with bitch about what I did and what I did. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, have you ever heard Joe Rogan's philosophy on comments? No. He always says, don't read them. I stopped reading. The biggest podcaster on the planet says, I don't read the comments. Right. Don't read them. Because that's going to take you off, and if somebody's going to get you out of character. You know what I mean?
When I started doing this shit, I used to read the comments. I'd be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? If they knew of that man, fuck it, man. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. If you won't believe it, believe it. If you don't believe it, I ain't tripping off that shit.
But you come from a different era, bro, and I can relate to that because we come from the era where, like, if you got a problem with somebody, you address it. And if somebody has a problem with you and they take it somewhere else, well, then you take it to them and you address it. But that age is long. We you know what I mean? Like, we relics, bro, because nowadays, everybody say everything in real time. You, like you say, you got keyboard commandos, keyboard quarterbacks. I mean, whatever you want to call them, bro. You know, keyboard gangsters. Yeah. So you know.
But like me, bro, I don't have the luxury of being a sucker. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't got the luxury to be no sucker. No, see, it's a lot of suckers out there got a lot of luxury. I don't have that luxury. You feel what I'm saying? When I come in any situation I ever been through, I had to bulldoze, my feet had to hit the concrete, and I had to go run for it. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. Like I probably could have played the NFL. Yeah. That's how raw run that rock. You feel me? Like when my shit when my feet hit that turf, bro, there ain't no looking back.
So bro, you were talking about how they had the jump out boys, right? And but you made me think of this officer, bro, that used to come around fucking with us. Cause you know I was on over there by Coke and the Key, right?
Officer Skinner.
I remember Skinner. I remember Skinner used to be at my house all the time, dog. But Skinner even worse, do you remember the female officer? I think her name was Lombardo.
Yeah, Lombardo. That's Lombardo,
bro. Yeah.
That's Cagney and Lacey. That's what that is.
So bro, we used to be sitting at the circle by my dad's. You know, my dad did time. So you know, when I was a kid, my mom would be, you know, going through whatever she was going through, and we'd all be outside.
But tell the truth, how many times did you see her though? Tell the truth.
Lombardi?
Yeah.
So, bro, we used to be sitting at the circle in front of by my dad's house. You know, right? Where's that? You know where the Rutland Mansion? Yeah, the right Rutland where they tore down. Right. So that neighborhood back there.
That's like Pinella's Point in the Peach Street. So that's beyond Harbordale.
But just north of that, right out that park, Cook Park, bro. The same park that Dirt. Shout out Dirt. Right. The same park that Dirt. So Dirt and I grew up on the same street, right? And so you know. When my mom wasn't home, we'd all be on the porch. Right. But when my mom was home, we'd all go to the circle. There was a circle right there. So we'd all be sitting at the circle. And then fucking Lombardi would show up. Right. And bro, I'm sure she was violating every right we had. I mean, I don't know how many rights we had. We were 10, 12 years old. Right. But she used to make us empty out our pockets on the circle and pat us all down.
She did that over there in Harbordale.
Oh, no, she didn't. Hell no. No, you know, she tried us though. She used to come around there with a whole different tone around us. Right. You know what I mean? Like
even with the mail shit, like I was telling the people, like we didn't get our mail. You know, they used to put the big mail pails at Easy Stop on 6th Street. They weren't coming down the Harbor. Oh, that's illegal. You can't do this. We talking about 30 years ago. We ain't talking about yesterday. We ain't talking about, because you got to figure everybody who's 30 years old or younger, they can't even fathom how I live. So now they trolling, talking about this ain't happening. They trying to debunk stories of how many amperage and all this old extra shit about this stove and all. Let me tell you something, champ. None of that shit happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who you is, what type of electrician you is, no, none of that shit. I'm telling you, back 30 years ago, shit ain't what they was doing. So even with the mail, bro, even with the pizza, bro, that shit wasn't cut. But when I tell these stories, a bitch say I'm lying. And when I talk about prison, a bitch think I'm talking about I got released yesterday. A bitch think I'm talking about 2020. Bitch, I got released 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The feds, we didn't even get that ICE movement and all that shit where it's picking up the MS-13s and the Northern and stuff and put them all in the feds, bro. We didn't even get that till like 2008. Or 10. You see what I'm saying?
When I fell in 07, and that's when it was full. And you know what I mean? Like that, bro.
And that's what really like caused the rift and the rough in that prison system was really when they started bringing all them, all that shit in there. But
and the crazy thing is, as well as I do, these dudes, most of these dudes that are in there, bro, they're getting 4 years for illegal reentry. They ain't done shit, but they're in this bitch living good, eating good. You know what I mean? Like learning English, making money, sending money home, bro. You know what I mean? And one thing about them, when they're gang affiliated, they might be doing a 3-year bid, but they'll risk.
So now let me ask you this, right? Because a lot of people think I be bullshit.
Yeah.
When you was younger, and I had Harbordale, we had Harbordale on lock. What was the stories being told to y'all back then about Harbordale?
I mean, I didn't have to hear him. I was in there, bro. I used to be, outside Ronnie Black door, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, bro. Right. Like,
so you know these.
Yeah, man. Like Ronnie Black
tell the people, like, because they think I be bullshitting. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't caught up with this. Is my first time catching up with this man since he's been home, bro.
Yeah.
The man asked me to come on the podcast, so it ain't like we done chopped it up, and I'm just throwing some shit. This man know who I'm here, what I did, done seen, a witness. So I'm just saying, tell the people about, what you seen and shit, because they say I be bullshit.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell Black's story the way I know it, and then you fill in the blanks. You fill in the blanks, right? Okay, so we both grew up in South St. Pete, right? And so you grew up in Harbordale. Now I grew up where I was at. It really wasn't a hood. It was a nice little pocket neighborhood, right? I'm over there back on the other side of 4th Street, by the Rutland Mansion, right? In that little, there's a little park right there, right? Yeah. Before you get to Pinellas Point and all that. So, but like everything popping was on the other side of 4th Street. And I'll tell you a funny story that my mom, God bless my mom. I lost my mom a little over a year ago, but that's my OG, right? And so my pops was away, right? So my pops was doing time. He was doing fed time, and so my house, we didn't have a lot of supervision, so we were always hanging out in the streets. But my mom did what she could to keep me out of the streets. Right. So my thing is, I was in the hood, really and truly, bro, by choice, not by force. Because growing up the way we grew up, honestly, bro, to be real with you, I got a lot more acceptance, even though I'm getting robbed from my bicycle, my chain snatched, all these things, bro, right? Until I finally, you gotta do something, right? We ain't gonna talk about what we gotta do, but we gotta do something, right? And then you finally start to get a little respect. But in the beginning, bro, it's rough, right? And I ain't gotta tell you, but my one thing, my mom tried to shelter me, bro, which don't work. That's why I don't shelter my child, because you shelter them now you're gonna fall for everything, right? And you have to learn the hard way, which is how I learned, right, coming up in the streets. But to go back to my earliest memories, my mom used to always say, I wasn't allowed to cross 4th Street. All my homies would go to Tropicana, right? You remember Tropicana? There used to be a bowling alley called Tropicana. They shut it. It was really the only thing to do in South St. Pete back then. We didn't have no skate parks, right? We didn't have none of this new cool shit that you see downtown, right? The only thing we had was Tropicana, and then they took that from us, right? So we didn't have shit to do but go out and get into some shit, right? But my mom used to always say, don't cross 4th Street. And all the homies used to make fun of me, bro. They used to be like, it's a whole nother world out there, because that's what my mom used to say. It's a whole nother world, and they did clean up a lot of that shit since what it was.
I respect what she was telling you back then, because she wasn't telling you nothing wrong. She wanted her son to come home. Back over there where we was at Cross 4th Street, bitch ain't making it home.
So no, exactly. Right. So and we could tell story after story after story. But so my early days of going to Harbordale, when I was going to the trap. You know what I mean? I was going to see Ronnie Black. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you're watching this and you don't know, Ronnie Black serving a life sentence for killing a man with a sword, right?
He chopped his head off in the backyard. We standing back there.
Yeah. In Harbordale. Right? This is where Black's from, and I can vouch for this, right? If you're not from the city, now if you're in the city, you just just gonna be nodding your head because you already know Black, right? But I knew him as an Uncle Black because we were jits,
right.
and Black was already the OG. And I'm talking about over 20 years ago. Right. I'm talking about like 30 years ago, bro. You know, I know you had to probably be a jit, but you was at least driving age. We were jitterbugs, bro. We were bicycle age. You know what I'm saying? And so we used to be sitting. I remember we used to be in the car with whoever had a license, whoever was old enough to have a license, and then of course, you know, Uncle Black pulls up. You know what I mean? In the blue van with the metallic paint, you had the rims on it, the music. You know what I mean? And I mean, you were just a St. Pete legend, bro. You were the one. You were like what we wanted to be, bro. To be real with you, right? Not realizing everything that come with that, but like to be the because you know when a little white boy steps into the hood, right? You're gonna find out. You know they say fuck around and find out. Well, you fucked around the second you stepped out there, right? You fucked around, and you find out that don't step into the hood with a little jewelry, a little nice shoes. They ain't even got to be nice shoes. Right. If you motherfucker just gonna take your shoes exactly, just to let you know, where the fuck you at, right? But you know,
foxes back then.
But you know, the interesting thing is like when you're on the outside looking in, Black, hearing that story, you know, when you're just this little white boy growing up in the hood, you don't have no big brothers, no big cousins, no OGs. You know what I'm saying? The OGs were the ones that you trying to be like, and then you trying to get a pack, something going, and you give them the money, and then the next thing you know they disappear. Right? Now I gotta find OG. Right? Now I got something for the OG ass. Right? Like you know what I mean? But when you're not outside looking in, you don't realize that. Shit, Black had to go through this shit too. Right. Black had to, you know what I mean? Like, but ain't shit given, right? But you know what I respect about you, bro, most, right? Because you didn't let none of this shit change you. You didn't let none of this shit make you any different, right? And something that I went through growing up, bro, I understood my place, bro. Right. I understood the history. Right, and I don't mean like American history. We could really get into that. I just mean the history of St. Pete, and why somebody like me or you, just because of our complexion, now we gotta face the rage of 400 years of oppression, bro. Just when we step outside the house,
it's
right?
Funny, like I ain't never, cause somebody else said that shit. Like they always be, you know, in the comments with the fuck shit. They be like, "Oh, this how 400 years felt. You lucky that's all they did." Listen, I ain't even see because I understood the politics of the street. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't see white or black. I ain't see color. I ain't see cracker, nigga. I ain't see none of that shit, bro. It just, bro, you in a feeding frenzy, and you better eat or be eaten.
That's it. Period.
Like, for me, it wasn't no. You know, I tell the story now because I could see it a little bit better. But I never label my experience on a color or a race. It's just part of poverty. You
bro,
understand what I'm saying?
And that's so real, bro. And every real motherfucker that I know knows that. Like we're souls. This is a fleshy body. If you're a spiritual person, and I want to get into that, if you don't mind, I want to get into that a little bit. But if you're a spiritual person, you know this ain't nothing but the car, bro. This is just the vehicle, right? Our soul has no color, and who knows if we live multiple lives like they say we do and reincarnate. I don't know where your perspective is on all that, but if we do, we might have been any other color in a previous life, right? And this whole idea of race is relatively new, right? But you know as well as I do, even though we didn't see like that, we just see either you a real one or you're fake. Either you're a fuck boy or you're
either you gonna get out in them streets or you're not. You gonna stay on the porch, you gonna get, you know, off the porch, one or two. You know, you got also, you know, these new jits and all that old shit. Like,
you a piece of shit or you not, right? You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Either you gonna go get it and come back with it, or you gonna be the one to get got and they gonna come back with it, one or two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just chose to, like, bro, it was just no hard. I'm a different breed. I'm a different monster. You feel what I'm saying? They created something that they was playing with at first, and then they kept feeding it, and then the monster eventually grew into what it was supposed to. You feel me? And then there was no stopping after that. Then it was like, oh my God, what do we do? How can we slow it down? Yeah. It's too late now. Yeah, it's too late. No, we gonna do what you want to do. Yeah, but I'm gonna do what I want to do though. Yeah, that's what we gonna do. See, back then it was really gangster gutter back then. You know, and I spoke about this before. Where, you know, you got the jits nowadays. They get a little tattoo. They sag their pants. They get a little gun. you know, they slap a bitch up a few times, now they're a gangster. Back in my days, you had to be signed off that porch. You couldn't come off that porch. You had to earn your stripes.
That's right.
Come off that porch. You had to earn your stripes to get out in that street. You had to earn your stripes to get out there and sell that work. You had to get out there and run to them cars, and you had to put in that work, bro. You had to put in that work.
And nobody's gonna give you the pack unless they know you can protect it.
Yeah, well, that's real. You know what I'm saying? I can remember like smacking up some of the you know, some of the bases and the fiends out there. I can remember, you know, out there tussling with dudes a little bit older than me because I'm, you know, the only white boy and they feel I shouldn't be out here on the streets in the corner and selling dope, and you know what I'm saying? I can remember seeing my little homeboys and shit like stepping back with somebody trying to step down on me. They trying to see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rock this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And still to this day, like my mind is where it's at, like I don't need nothing to signify me. I don't need a bitch to talk about me. I don't need no jury. I don't need no car. I don't need no house. I don't need a bitch sitting around rapping about what I did or didn't do. Because at the end of the day, I already know what I did. I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, they don't make people like me no more.
Well, you know, back in the day, there used to be this shirt circulating in the city, right? Mm-hmm. And it said 727, and it said on the back, "Don't talk about it, be about it."
Well, you know, that's the area I come from, because like back then, I used to tell people like, there's a difference, like, we come from that believe, like show me era. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta make me a believer. If you kick in this door right now and you don't shoot me, I'm finna whoop your ass. I don't care you got a gun or not. But you kick that door and you shoot me in my leg, but you can have everything in the house. You feel what I'm saying? And it's to say that's still to this, it's in prison. Yeah. You can talk all that shit you want to, home, but come in and say it. I swear to God, I'm gonna show you something you ain't never seen before. Yo, it's the same. And then still to this day, like, I carry myself with great respect and great integrity. You feel what I'm saying? I don't fuck with nobody. I stay to myself. You know what I'm saying? So somebody get out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on respect, but you know, you can't. We live in a free land. You can even right now to the day you can flick the police off. It's a Supreme Court case. Ain't nothing they could do. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So our street code will never outbeat the logic of the law. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So I don't be worried about all that shit. What a bitch said, what a bitch. Go ahead and do something. Yeah. You better be too something to do something fucking with me. Yeah. You better be too something.
Well, I know they don't call you big bad bodyguard to the stars for nothing.
For nothing. Know that shit.
And that's the whole point that I was getting at in the beginning. It's like, you don't go in these places and come out with a spirit, right? And you know, your livelihood, like, you don't go through these places and come out a strong man if you ain't tested and proven, right? Because these are places that, I mean, you've seen them break even some of the strongest. I mean, how many people? And we don't need to start ringing off names, but because there's too many to count, honestly. But that ended up in a dumpster, or ended up in Lake McGorry, or ended up dumped out of a rental car in an alley, bro. And I'm saying these are all real true stories, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's like
we had them gators before.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's easy for people to get on here and talk about what they think black is. Right. It's like, okay, I'd like to see some of those same people walk in Harbordale. I'd like to see some of those same people. I don't give a fuck what they look like. Like you said, that ain't none of that shit. But there is something to be said about a complexion that comes with a whole lot of baggage, bro. Right? That might not have shit to do with you, but this is the way that our society is actually fabricated, bro. Like, cause you've been in the belly of the beast, and that's what I say about Fed, like, or prison in general. You are in the belly of the beast, so they don't hide all their shit anymore. All that divide and conquer shit, all the shit that they play nice with in the news when they're pretending to be Republicans or Democrats or even, you know, whatever spirituality they claim. At the end of the day, bro, the motherfuckers that are making these rules are making them there's only two sides. There's the haves and there's the have-nots.
Yeah,
right?
That shit all on stock exchange now. It's bigger than just skin color. It's bigger than
exactly.
Yeah,
and I hope somebody that is of that simple-minded ass mentality and still stuck on skin color, I hope you're listening to this shit, because that shit is a part of a plan to keep your mind small and to keep you at your neighbors, right? At your brothers, right? At complete strangers that done nothing to you. But what does that do? That makes it only easier to divide the people, to keep the poor people even poorer and the rich people even richer, and to close that gap. So you either piss poor or filthy rich, nothing in between. And in the meantime, all the poor dumb people gonna be arguing about whether they're Republican or Democrat or black or white or Muslim or Christian. Like all of that is
got a dollar on it.
It got a dollar on it. Period.
That's why they took Christmas, right? Take Christmas, right? Christmas used to be a Christian holiday. It was a religion. You know, people get the time off, the days off. You know, they celebrate it. They took that away. It is no longer a Christian holiday. It's a consumer holiday.
That's right.
It's a consumer holiday.
It's a consumer holiday. It's to get you to spend money.
What you talk about, Jesus, God, all that extra next shit. We got this hot ass brand new toy, and we want everybody from the age of 6 to 16 to buy it. Yeah. That's a consumer holiday. You know,
and if you don't buy it, you ain't shit. You're a bad person.
Right,
you're not taking care of your kid. Right? Yeah, exactly.
All that. You know what I'm saying? So shit's all about a dollar at the end of the day. That's why I don't really like colorize it and get on it. Like every podcast I do, I make sure I clarify. I'm speaking from my experience, my lifetime, and my lane, and my prison time. You know, my time in Harbordale and St. Pete is by my experience. You can't tell me what my experience was. And if you decide to put your hands on me or talk slick in the comment, you understand what I'm saying? What you gonna do to me when you see me and all this next shit? The only thing I can do is the same thing. I really wish you don't do that. I really wish you don't do that.
So let's talk about fuck all them, bro. They ain't. I mean, right. You know what I mean? That's their problem. We're not gonna make it ours. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely gonna make it mine.
So I want to know. You know, I've watched a couple of the pods, right? Mm-hmm. That you put out. So I know a little bit of this, but I want to hear it from you in your words, on your terms. Mm-hmm. How'd you become black?
Shit. I mean, you know, the nickname, you know, stems from oxymoron. I was on the white dude in the hood, so they called me black.
Yeah.
And then it just, you know, blew into something bigger than what it was when I tell people, bro, you know how hard it is to come back over 15 years being domicile and doormat, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And come back and the only thing you got left, because ain't nobody gave me nothing for not snitching. Ain't nobody gave me nothing for being no stand-up dude. Yeah. I ain't get no car. I ain't get no barbecue. I ain't get no nacho. I ain't get a fuck thing. Yeah. Nothing. When I came home, the whole neighborhood was gentrified. Everybody done moved on, died, all that shit. The creeks was mowed over. You see what I'm saying? Now I got to come back and I got to recreate myself. How can I make black into a household name and get paid off of it? It was through security. One of my ex-supervisors pissed me off, said some old shit, you know what I'm saying, threatened me with the halfway house shit. So what I started doing was just clocking in and leaving, because you had to do 8 hours at a Class D, you know, license. You had to do 8 hours for 5 days. So I go clock in, I leave that bitch, go do my security shit, you know what I'm saying, come back, clock back out. And that's what I did. I used their money to get a Class D security license. And then I just came up with Black Label. So anybody who started catching fire, knew who I was when I started getting back in the street, started going to these strip clubs. Man, I remember my partner Los, he called me like 2 days ago. And Los was a party promoter back in 2015. He was a party promoter for all the clubs. Los was a doorman doing security and shit. Yeah. And he said, bro, tell the people how you used to walk down Central Avenue with that little folder with your resume and shit in it. He said, bro, you really came from nothing. Like I seen you, your persistenceness. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen you walk up and down Central Avenue when it was hot, begging people for jobs and shit, let you in, let you do security and shit. And Los was one of them. And Los used to tell me, man, I ain't got nothing right now. I ain't got nothing right now. But I fought with you. I fought like I feel your spirit, like I fought with you. But I ain't got nothing right now. And all them no's eventually just pushed me into my path of, you know, the legacy of Black Label. Yeah. You know, and that Black Label means top tier. There's nobody above. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's Black Label services, because I provided that at that time. I was doing a bunch of shit. But now I just do the black truck service, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's all I do in Tampa Bay now, you know what I'm saying? But it's a long, hard road. There's a lot more to, you know, talk about and shit like that. It was a long road on that struggle. Up and down the road, you know, there's a lot of shit, bro. I can't even, I'm sorry, I could go back to before Kodak Black was Kodak Black. I could go back to Kodak P before he was Kodak P. I can go back to Moot before Moot. I can go back to Rodarius Green before he was Rod Wave. Like, I could go back to all this shit. I could go back when I was locked up with Big Gates. Plies brother and shit, like, bro, that's a long fucking way, bro. That's a long. It's a lot of fighting. It's a lot of shootouts. It's a lot of using your brain to maneuver. Like you got to take 12 people. 12 people believe that you gonna lead them in the right direction, bro. That's a lot of fucking responsibility.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of fucking responsibility. It's a lot of strategy. It's a lot of mental on war than anything. You know what I'm saying? You got to be quick on your feet, but you got to be. You got to over strategize. It's worse than playing chess. It's not 2 moves ahead of your opponent. You got to be 15 moves.
So when you fell, it was a dope case, right?
Yeah, huge dope case.
Okay. Yeah, and then you were set up, right?
Yeah, I was set up.
Yeah, I only know this because I watched your pod. You know what I mean? I knew a little bit of whatever. You know what I mean? But when you fell, like we were still out doing our thing, and then you hear a little chatter here and there. But you know, I never knew the true story. But
when they fear you, they remove you. They get rid of you. When they fear you, it ain't about respect. When they fear you, they get rid of you. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? I done been through that a few times, even like on different prison yards and shit like that. When they don't understand you, when they ain't trying to spend time with you, when you don't go with their program, whenever you know what I'm saying, you hard-headed, you go up against, you stand against what they say, you break the myth, you break the mold. They don't like that shit, bro.
Yeah, man.
They don't like that shit. They want compliance, they want control, they want respect, they want admiration. I don't give a fuck. You got to earn that shit over here.
And you know what else they want? That they love more than anything is division.
Yeah.
And that's where, you know, I mean, I think it's crazy, bro, that people would speak negatively on you, and clearly they don't know shit about you.
I'm probably one of the most stand-up people, and like I said, I don't get shit for it, so it ain't like it's a reward for it. I do it because that's my character, that's my DNA. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lion, bro. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you 100%. Like, it's a lot of trolls on the internet. It's a lot of people who just don't respect what I got going on. They don't respect how I am, what I was raised, how I speak. They don't respect effort. They don't respect my movement. They don't respect shit. But at the end of the day, shit, you can't change people. You just change how you deal with the people.
Well, you know what, bro? What I appreciate about you is you never forget where you came from.
True.
You never forget about the people that were there for you, and maybe there weren't a lot, bro. Mm-hmm. But you constantly giving people their flowers, giving people shout outs. You know what I mean? You go right back to the community that you came up from, the same community that got you fucked up, but you knew it was the choices you was making. Right. You never had anything bitter about anybody, bro. You did your bit, and I know for a fact, bro, that you were helping people up the road, bro. It was this little dude, man, green as fuck, and he was like, "Oh, you're from St. Pete?" He knew you as Bilal, right? He was like, Bilal was my celly. I don't even remember the boy's name, bro, but I'm like, he's saying Bilal. I didn't know Bilal. I'm like, who you talking about? And he's saying all these things. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And then I think he said black. And I'm like, black? And then I'm like, I knew exactly who you were, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yeah, bro, that's, you know, but like, that's you ain't have to help. You ain't have to help that dude out. You know what a lot of people would do? You go in the commissary, here's a list.
Right.
Here's a list. I need this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't out here extorting nobody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that you could be doing with your reach that you worked really hard to get. But you're doing the right things with it, bro. Using it as leverage to help people, to provide protection, to provide support, bro. And I know anybody that hired you for your services, I mean, you're not just giving them the protection and the support. I mean, you
go above and beyond.
Yeah, man, clearly.
You don't get just something simple when you fucking with me. That's why all my clients come by. I've had clients for like 10 years. And they love me to death. Because I provide a service there ain't no level. You understand what I'm saying? Like it exudes everything that you can fathom whenever you put your trust in your life in somebody else's hand. There'll never be nobody else like me in this industry.
Well, you know what, bro? I want to ask you this question, man, because I can relate to what you're saying about walking with those resumes, bro. You know, I said this in my first season of the podcast. I used to catch 8 city buses a day on average. I remember one day I caught 14 city buses, bro. Because, you know, the halfway house was on Hillsborough. I'm in the Berg. You know what I mean? Coke in the Key. I used to have to catch bus 4 and then take that all the way up to Gandy. Then I used to get on the 100X or whatever. And then take that to fucking Tampa. And then I had to get off in the hood over there off Haynes or some shit. Or what is it? I forget. It don't matter. But I had to catch that other bus, right? So now you know we're already like 4 or 6 buses in, and I got to do all the way back, and I got to catch even more buses back because some of those buses only run certain times. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only saying that to say, bro, you know, I did my bid, and but everybody used to clown me up the road, bro, because Black, I got in from day one. I'm start getting ready. The motherfucker's like, motherfucker, you got 12 years. Like, what the fuck? You ain't like. You fresh in, like, go lay your ass down, man. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm fucking doing push-ups. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm studying my books. I got my trainer certification. I started teaching in the rec department because what they don't understand is I'm building a resume. I never knew how to do shit other than sell drugs, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I was in college when I got indicted and shit. I was trying to. That was the only structure that I ever had in my life, right? And so, you know, only way I knew how to get money. I never had a job more than 3 months, bro, ever, until I went to prison. You know what I mean? And I fell when I was about 22 years old, right? I was 22. I came home when I was 31. You know what I mean? And so all my 20s, bro, all my 20s. I mean, I ain't got to tell you, same shit. You know, and so, but what I'm getting at, Black, is as prepared as I was, and I know for a fact I was more prepared than most. I used to go to all the reentry events. Remember up the road they do the reentry events, and the mock fairs, and they usually say that you gotta be within your last year in order to go to them. I didn't give a fuck, bro. I still had all that time. I'm still going because I want to see what's out there. I want to see what the people are hiring for, and I want to make sure I never forget how to talk to people, never forget how to look people in the eyes, give a firm handshake, answer questions, right? I didn't want to fall into, you know how easy it is, right? You see, you go in there, you get your 3 hots in a cot. It's so easy to fucking wake up, fucking sign your compound sheet, go sit your ass down in front of that TV with your bowl of food, and then just wait for them to call mainline. Right. You know what I mean? Wait for the chow hall every day. You get your 3 meals a day. You ain't got to worry about no fucking rent. You ain't got to worry about no job. And then all of a sudden you got to work 40 hours a week, and you ain't even paying no bills. You ain't gonna get those 3 hots in a car with them 40 hours a week. No, right? Not with it. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm saying that to say I was preparing myself, bro. And I truly felt like I was more prepared than most. I believe with all my heart that I was probably more prepared than 99% of the people. And every single fucking interview I got, it went great. Firm handshake. Look at me in my eyes. What's your availability? By the way, I need you to sign this piece of paper that says that I'm living at a halfway house and I'm still under the custody of the BOP, and that I truly was where I said I was at today. And they're probably going to call you to confirm. Right away. No more eye contact. The handshake goes from firm to limp. You know what I'm saying? And I know you can relate to this, bro. And then I got to go right back to that bus stop. You know what I mean? I got to go right back, catch 3 more buses back to the, you know what I mean? Waiting, spend more time. And shout out to homie Kendall, right? Bo, because, bro, you know, the first smartphone that I ever had in my life, bro, we didn't have smartphones. The first smartphone I ever had in my life, I was on home confinement. And Kendall brought me the Kyocera, the little $40 joint. Right. Bro, do you know how happy I was with that $40 joint? I'm on the internet, and now I got my Facebook going, you know what I mean? Got my SoundCloud going, you know what I mean? I used to have my little skull candy earbuds from the feds that sounded good as a motherfucker. I don't know how it sound better than shit out here. Yeah, and I would. That's how I would write my songs on the bus. I used to call the bus my limo. Bro, I got a homie was out here on fucked up on drugs and shit, just completely crashing. I'm like, man, what's going on? Oh man, I ain't got no car. So fucking what? Take your ass on the fucking bus. Motherfuckers don't want to do shit out here, bro. Like, I love little dude with all my heart, but come on now, dog. You ain't got no car, so you gonna sit your ass at home, bro. I was in that city bus every day. I was waiting on my limousine. I got me a driver, my limousine pull up. I go all the way to the back, put my earbuds in. I know I got a 2-hour bus ride, so I pull out my pen and my pad, bro. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But I'm telling you that to tell you that I got over 100 no's, Black. All these places as well put together as I was. Soon as I give them that paperwork that says I'm living in a halfway house, they don't give a fuck how solid I am. They don't give a fuck about any of that.
When I came home, they was putting us in the call centers. The call center just, accepted us immediately. Yeah. I think they had a contract with them or something. For every 30 people they hire, they get a kickback or some more. Shit, like that. So, I went in there and did with the call center shit, but I had 2 people. The supervisor, black dude, he tried me on some real fuck shit. Then after that, I went to the second was AGR. And then I love Darfo. He tried me on some real whole. He talked to me any kind of way because I was in the halfway house.
That's how those managers talk in them call centers.
Like the floor walkers and shit.
They think because they're getting a little money that, all right, motherfucker, like.
Man, listen, both the motherfuckers made me an entrepreneur in them same couple of months. Yeah, I ain't doing this. Never again.
Yeah.
Never crop my shit right on up on the air.
Hell
man.
yeah.
Fuck that shit. I can't do it. This ain't what the lick read.
So yeah, damn right. So you got tired of all the no's and you said, fuck it, if they don't want to hire me, I'm gonna hire my motherfucking self.
Yeah, I ain't really getting on no's. They just push you like I said, they put you, the halfway house did the work for us. They just sort of told us where to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. Like, well, I did the same paper shit, but like I was going to all my partners like Kendall or Outwaters, a couple other people had little smaller businesses and shit. So I would just put their address on the paper, had like you sign the paper, and then I'm out for 8 hours. Yeah. I really wasn't looking for no job and shit. I was trying to find, I was out there hustling and shit. You know what I mean? Because I came home to nothing. I ain't had shit. I ain't had nobody to come home to. So I just got back in the streets for a little minute, did my little one too. But, they gave me like a week of that shit, or just a free fall.
Yeah.
And then finally they did the little call center shit. And the dude said, I went to the bathroom. And I stayed in the bathroom like 7 minutes or whatever. I came back and the dude was like, you still in company time, you ain't get no permission, you ain't asked me could you use the bathroom. Man, fuck, what? Man, I don't give a fuck till I call the halfway. Call that bitch. Partner, call that bitch. I don't give a fuck. Call them people, bitch. I'm not coming back to this shit, bro. But I seen him like 2 years later. And I told this on another part. I seen him 2 years later at the Applebee's out there on East Bay. Mm-hmm. Off US 19. A girl that took me on a date out there. I seen him like 2 years later, I was already doing Black Label Securities. He was like, man, what's up, man? You remember me? Man, do I remember you? Man, get the fuck. You the main reason why, I started my entrepreneur. She like, man, I ain't got no job, man. Put me on the job. I wish the fuck I would hire you. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a luxury to see that shit, like how life come back tenfold. You know what I mean? I'm successful and shit. You know what I'm saying? You too once was successful. You know what I'm saying? You had your shit going, whatever case may be. Now you down on your dick. That's why I treat the CEO like I treat the general. You understand what I'm saying? That's always been my character. If you gonna carry respect with me, I'm gonna carry respect for you.
Exactly.
You get out that line now, shit, we gonna have a problem. But again, I don't give a fuck who you is, bro. Respect due to a dog. Everywhere I go, I get respect from everybody. I carry myself, with integrity. I carry the way I walk. When you see me with no emotion, no expression, you don't know what I'm thinking about. You don't know what I got going on. You know what's in my heart. You don't know what's in my mind. You feel what I'm saying? So I just make sure that my demeanor speaks for itself before you even get in my energy. Yeah. And I don't put off bad energy. You feel what I'm saying? Like I walk in a circle of greatness. And it shows. But at the same time, bro, you can't be no slimy person and expect, shit to come back. Now, that's a lot of bad shit happened to me. I done been in some terrible relationships. I done had some hoes walked the dog on my ass, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I done had people ran off with the pack. I done had, dudes run off with payroll, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm paying you, you know what I'm saying, for the security because I got to go do another job. They calling me in the morning like, Black, when you going to shoot the cheese? I said, I gave it to such and such. He got the payroll. I said, man, that man ain't paid us. See what I'm saying? So it's shit like that. What happened throughout the wind, but man, you can't cry about it. You can't let that shit stick you. You got to go stick it. Man, fuck that shit. All I did was pay him to get the fuck out the way. I paid you to show me how slimy you were. Man, I ain't tripping, bro.
Damn right, bro.
I just paid you to go and get the fuck out my way. I ain't got to worry about you no more.
Bro, and for real, bro, that's why I've been looking forward to this interview for so long, bro, because like one thing I can relate with you and I think a lot of people coming from where we come from, no matter what background, ethnicity, everybody knows they called it the dirty bird for a long time, right? Yeah. Because there's a lot of dirty shit, a lot of dirty motherfuckers, right?
Still is.
But that doesn't mean everybody's dirty, right? I love my city, and I know I ain't gotta. I know you love your city too, bro. You could be in any city in the fucking world right now, and what are you screaming from the top of your lungs every podcast? St. Pete, right? Not just any St. Pete, South St. Pete.
Right,
yeah, exactly, right? And that's what I've called home since I was 8 years old, 7 years old, 1993. You know what I mean?
People like it's people from shit. Fuck, what about? It's people I used to go to grade school with hitting me like, man, go, keep going. You know what I'm saying? The city proudly, man. We appreciate you telling your story because my whole thing, like on my YouTube, Black Label Lounge, and that's what my shirt is pain and a purpose. Yeah, I talk a lot of street shit. Yeah, I talk a lot of gangster shit. Yeah, I tell a lot of stories. But I want you to see where I'm at today and where I came from. I'm on these stages. I'm with all these celebrities. I done served some of the most iconic figures America has ever seen, bro. You understand what I'm saying? That's huge coming from Harbordale, bro.
Yeah, bro.
That's huge coming from 15 years in the feds, bro.
And what I'm getting at, bro, what makes, because there's a lot of people came up where we came up, ended up in prison, ended up in the graveyard, right? Someone went to prison, came out super soon, if you know what I mean, right back doing the same old shit. Right. No, I can't respect that. You know what I'm saying? But what I'll tell you what I respect, because I can relate. I've been done wrong. Time and time again, bro. And I learned to not let a motherfucker do me wrong. I learned how to protect myself and to earn respect, right? So, but that's not the conversation I'm trying to have. How many people when somebody do them wrong, now they see it as a green light to just go around and do people wrong, bro. And that's something that you see, that's the dirty part of the bird, right?
But see, that's why I say like, you can't change a person, bro. You don't change how you deal with a person. Like if a bitch burnt me, whatever the case may be, but I'm not going back to jail about no money, bro. I'm not worried about that shit, bro. You can do what you want to do. It's America. You feel what I'm saying? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get out your way. You feel me? Because I ain't finna keep setting myself up. Oh, you a sucker. I'm going to be everything you said I'm going to be, but I'm going to be free behind that shit.
That's right.
I'm going to use my mind. I'm going to strategize. I'm going to go and get the fuck out of the way. I'm going to get me some money. I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go get me some money, pay my bills. I'm going to come back home. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I'm not finna trick myself. You say whatever you want to say, whatever, just don't put your hands on me, bro. That's it.
Bro, anybody in this city, come from our city, St. Petersburg, Florida, if you're watching from abroad, but like, anybody that's truly from the city in the era we came up in, they're gonna know you, right? And I grew up in the same city you grew up in. We knew the same people, came up around the same people, some good, some bad, some in between, right? So maybe a little bit of both, right? But not a single person could say Black a piece of shit. No. Not a single person could say, "Oh, don't trust."
But they can't say
maybe a little shit, but that's what I'm saying.
They can't say he ain't no stand-up dude. They can't say he a rat. They can't say no crazy outlandish shit. They can't say I owe him nail coin. A bitch can't say nothing about that. You know what? Man, that man did. He went through some shit. You know what I'm saying? He came home, put his cell phone, everything he talk about, he done did. Some of the stories, for entertainment purpose, get blowed up a little bit. It's the internet. I'll fuck off a little bit, but at the end of the day, just like you said, my reputation gonna hold everywhere I go. Yeah. He a stand-up dude. That man all right. You know what I'm saying? Like he is what he is. He did what he did.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But a big part of the art of storytelling, you're going to exaggerate, right? Yeah, like you hear that they talk about Fat Joe. You said that they be like, "Oh, Fat Joe be the story," but it's like, no, the story is so real. Just because you know what I mean? Like, you got to blow up a little shit.
We be in the hood talking shit. Yeah, man, that bitch was bad. Motherfucker look at the picture, man, that whole look like motherfucking Freddie Jackson. You feel what I'm saying? But it's the same, bitches, we talk a little shit, you know what I'm saying? Swallow a little spit, fuck around a little bit, but at the end of the day, dog, I still walk with integrity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not nobody, I'm not the biggest gangster. And I know your neighborhood ain't no harder than my neighborhood, no matter where you was at in the world. You know what I'm saying? Your stores ain't no more gangster, no harder than my stores. So we just got to live on the earth together. And I'm going to respect everybody who come with me or at me. But at the end of the day, I ain't going to let my integrity get burnt or blacked out. If I feel like you treat me wrong, I'm going to get out your way. Yeah. You feel me? Like, I just don't come from the era, bro. You just got to be a commendable person, bro. I grew up with some real OGs out of St. Pete, bro. I'm talking about Robert Larry, God bless the dead, Terry Lee, Jed Lee, Timothy Lee, Mailman, them cross, town. You had Chief in the projects, you had Mr. in the projects. I'm proud of, because it'd be hard to like compute everything when you be on these podcasts. Yeah. But man, I grew up with some real, man, bro, Romeo Mathis at the Key Shop. You understand what I'm saying? Like, bro, on Red Maurice, on Kevin, on goddamn, like I remember these dudes on Miss Cora, Kenny Flowers, Papa Flowers, Nancy Flowers. Like, bro, I remember this shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like, man, they had the streets on lock. They had all the bad cards, and that's just all we knew, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was our success rate. Anytime we can get a can of paint and go from 9th Street up to 34th Street on 18th Avenue, do the full circle in the middle of 34th Street, and come back down 18th Avenue back to 9th Street. I know for a lot of people watching this, they can't relate. No. You see what I'm saying?
They have no idea.
They like, y'all idiots, y'all was small-minded, y'all was this, y'all was that. But when if football's all you know, and you grew up in a football camp, you gonna play football. You know what I'm saying? That's all we knew. Candy paints, loud sounds, hammers, bows, lows, studies, cradles. You know what I'm saying? Like It's all Jerry curls. See them coming in and out. You know what I'm saying? They got the dry cleaner plastic on the clothes. You know, like it's what we seen. So that's what shit. What a motherfucker supposed to do.
So what a lot of people, and I guarantee you it's 100% of the people that are critical of you, right?
Yeah,
in the comment section. But let them get their rocks off, because that's all the fuck they got, bro. You know what I mean? They could never walk in the shoes that you've had to walk in your entire life, right? And so, you know, when you talk about the shit that you had to endure in the streets, and you didn't let that change you and make you be a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that you deserve your flowers, bro.
I appreciate
you know what I'm saying? And this is coming in a world where, like, generally, when does a man get his flowers? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. At his funeral. You know what I'm saying? When it's too late. And that's why I started this podcast, because God bless the dead big baby Timothy Lewis, rest in peace, big homie, didn't make it home, bro. You know what I mean? Like, he could have took off doing, you know, who knows what. You know what I'm saying? But he was definitely, you know, in the music label, all this. But he never made it out, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I started this podcast because I want to celebrate people and their passions before it's too late, bro. I want to inspire people watching this to get the fuck off their couch and their keyboard and stop criticizing everybody else and tap in, right? What do you have to give to the world, bro? Yeah. Figure it the fuck out, because you're not going to wake up one day and it's going to be too late.
It's a lot of people that with my help, made it home to their family. It's a lot of people who stayed on the street because I chose not to rap. It's a lot of people in the entertainment industry who made, you know, sloppy decisions, but I was there to save their ass. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I
know.
So it's a long-standing line of integrity, and I don't even like I don't know my daddy and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I never met him. I ain't never pressed. You know what I'm saying? Left it, what it is. But at the end of the day, I don't know what makes me me. I'm just who I am. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm the last of a dying breed, and I know that women know when they see a real man in front of them. You feel me? Like, you just with them characteristics they just don't make no more.
But energy doesn't lie, bro. And you don't have to say a word. Like you said, you walk with a certain aura, you walk with a certain energy. And either somebody's going to pick up on that frequency. A lot of times they're going to be intimidated by that frequency. Right. And that's why, you know, employers are so quick to try to belittle you because they know they can't match that. Right? You got government officials, they want to try to put you away. You got people in the street.
I'm going to tell you how I learned this shit, right? So I went to school for phlebotomy, right? Mm-hmm. So I got my certification and shit like this. And what I found out, I went on 2 interviews. You know what I'm saying? So I was doing it at one time, but I remember I was up in Cincinnati and then where UC, and I was on the 4th floor. They brought me up there. I was up there. I was doing bodyguard work for the NFL Cincinnati Bengals, but that was only at night. So I just wanted to do something throughout the day. So I already had my certification for phlebotomy. So anyway, I went up there. Every black woman on that floor. I mean, absolutely in love out the breath. I couldn't even speak yet good enough, right?
Yeah.
Guess who the hiring administrator was? Old black dude. And he ran that bitch. And them was all his hoes. And when he
he was hating.
Bro, that bitch. So I know exactly. I came up with, you know what I'm saying, with that authority, that, you know what I'm saying, that shit that exude that power. I got the $400 cologne on and shit. Yeah, he wasn't having it because he been in control for 22 years up there. He done played in all the pussy. You feel what I'm saying?
And he can't relate. So he's trying to find holes in your story, trying to do whatever he can to pick you apart. And then when he knows there are none, now he just got to get rid of you. He said you'll be hearing from me in a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? So I called him. And he kept telling the people he not available. I went on about my business. But I say this. If I were to have to rely on a job and not rely on my skills in these streets, in this industry, I probably would not make it, bro. Yeah.
And I ain't even saying nothing crazy. I would have to be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these people say, oh, the way you talk, you can't get a job. The way you talk don't fly in colleges. The way you talk don't fly in corporate America. But if I was in corporate America, I would be who I would choose. This man ran a whole $1 million operation at 17, 18 years old. This man know about marketing. This man know about competition. This man know how to strike on his competition. Yeah. This man know about profit margin. Yeah. This who I need to run my company. He know about advertising. He know about marketing. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. This who I need. Fuck cause he convicted fella. Fuck cause he sold some drugs. This who I need to be sitting in chairman, CEO. He who I need to run this motherfucking company. Yeah, but they don't do it.
But they see everybody not real. You know that a real one will, and that's why I'm sure. I'm not gonna say you were given opportunities, but I'm sure you earned some. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You earned something, right? Like you say, the one dude didn't have a job for you, but once he saw you never gave up, you kept pushing, then all of a sudden he's calling you with opportunities, right? It was the same thing for me in fitness. I got 100 no's, bro. I got 100 no's. And then I had to learn from one of my homies who actually does hiring. He's like a big wig for an IT firm. He was like, this is what he said, you got to stop giving them the whole farm, man. You know what I'm saying? Because my whole thing is I stand on my principles. Like, yeah, I did time, but I'm a better man because of it. You know what I'm saying? Like before I went to prison, I was a crash out. I went to prison, I fucking had some structure, had some discipline. You know what I'm saying? Learned some spirituality. Like I you know what I mean? I went from like my role models being, you know, drug dealers, gangsters, people, you know, sadly, Ronnie Black, life in prison. You know what I mean? These were the people that we looked up to. And I think that's important to touch on, bro, when a motherfucker is sitting there trying to say that you should talk a certain way or you should carry yourself a certain way. Because just for example, bro, to put this in perspective, the way we grew up, and I know you can vouch for this. I know you went to Osceola, right? And let's tell the people why you went to Osceola. I don't know if you ever got into that.
But they got bust out because the government didn't want to pour money into the education because they didn't want to put the computers and expensive textbooks and all that. It was too much money. So what we're going to do with the blacks, we ain't going to put money in them. We just going to ship them out to the white schools.
We're going to bust them out. And then they would do the opposite on the north side. They would bust people down here, remember? Right? And so I went to Lakewood. So that was real big in Lakewood. Right. But what I remember, you know, they called Lakewood Hollywood High. Hollywood High. And so in Lakewood, bro, if you didn't come fresh to death, creased in peace, you know what I mean? Starch in your jeans, creases, you know what I mean? Gold jewelry. If you didn't have an outfit to wear, you just not going to school, bro. It don't matter what your fucking race is, what your color is. When you're living in this community, when you don't have a father present in the home, right? You never met your father, right? My father was in prison, so you know, one could argue, yeah, I love my dad, right? We don't speak to this day, but I still love my dad. I had a father. I'm grateful I had a father, but you know. But looking at him as an example, he was in prison, right? But he's in prison trying to tell me what to do at home, trying to tell my mom what to do at home, right? So it's like it's hard to respect that, right? You're in the streets and you're being told what to do, and then like, you know, my dilemma in the streets was like, I try to hang with the white boys, I'm too ghetto, right? I try to hang out in the hood, I'm too white, right? So it's like, where do I get in where I fit in? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, for me, it was the streets, bro. Because at the end of the day, the only color matters, green, right? You do have a target on your face, on your head when you look different from everybody else. But eventually, people are going to learn to respect it because the green is still green, right? The guns still go boom, right? So at the end of the day, like, it really don't matter. But I'm not sharing that to glorify any of that shit. I'm sharing that for these sucker-ass motherfuckers in the comment section that have no fucking idea because it's survival. You learn to adapt in order to survive in that environment, right?
They some real critics in that comment. You got to like have some tough skin. Like I say, you know, when we do this, we succumb to a lot of hate, a lot of white dudes hate me with a passion, bro. I'm talking about, I be live on here, they be putting like in the little bubbles the N-word, they spell the whole word out, but like you gotta really look at it to realize, it'd be a lot of fuck shit they do, but it don't discourage me, because them 10, 15,000 people who do the shit, I got 150,000 people pushing behind me.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Say, man, we love your message. We love painting the purpose. We love how you able to speak for those who can't speak. We love to hear the message, because I got in my phone right now, people like texting me like, man, I'm the same as you. I remember that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was hard for me to change and lot. And you know what I'm saying? My son in prison 15 years. My dad just came home for 15 years. Like, you know, it's the message, bro. Everybody get caught up on technicalities and trying to prove if I'm gangster or not. I wasn't here to prove it. I'm showing you what the gangster shit got me, which was nothing.
But that's the whole point, bro. Look at the role models we had coming up in South St. Pete, bro. For me, it was Ronnie Black. But before Ronnie Black, I remember this dude. I ain't gonna say his name, but he used to babysit for me, right? Him and his girl. His girl's like kind of like my cousin, right? We grew up together, but I mean, I used to think this dude was like, I wanted to be just like this dude, bro. That motherfucker doing time for robbing banks. I think he had like part of his leg chopped off. He's a full blown fucking heroin addict, bro. You're right. And so it's like you start to have these role models, and then you start to blow by your role models, right? One role model might start turning into a baser, right? For those who don't know, a drug addict, right? But then another role model fucked around, and now he's doing time for murder, right? Then you got your other homie. Oh, I looked up to this dude. Oh, now he doing life, right? And then you fuck around and get this other role model. Now you end up in a big ass conspiracy. Now your role model done told on you, dog. You know what I mean? Like, god damn, bro. So it's like, so then what do you do? What do? You turn within. I'm gonna be my own fucking role model, right? I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be my own fucking role model. I'm gonna fucking live my life on my terms. I'm gonna take everything I learned from my environment and my community, right? I'm gonna spit out the motherfucking bones. I'm gonna take in the meat, and I'm gonna live my life on my terms, bro. And that's exactly what you're doing, Black. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. So you know, much respect. But I want to touch on some other things that I think most people can't even fathom. I always relate prison to high school. Right? Look at the similarities, bro. Mm-hmm. Controlled movement, right? CO.
It's like that everywhere. I know what you're getting to. So a lot of the scientific movement between military, school, and prison is all the same.
But think about this: when you really want to know who somebody is in high school, we not even go to prison yet. In high school, where do you go in high school where you know who everybody is?
Either the lunchroom or the rec yard.
Exactly, either the lunchroom or the rec yard. I was thinking the cafeteria, right? Mm-hmm. Because when you go to that cafeteria in high school, right? You're probably at a private high school. You got your nerds over here. You know what I mean? You got your Asians over here. You know what I mean? You got the street dudes over here. You got the preppies there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and lunchroom set up in the prison system.
Right? Exactly right. Now you go to prison. Okay, you got your vice lords over here. You got your GDs over here. You got Paisa over here. Sereno over here. You know what I mean? You got your Sunnis over here, and then you got the nation with the you know what I mean, like, and so then you got your cars, right? And so I will never forget my first day on the yard. I came in with one of my co-defendants who's like a brother to me now, but I didn't know him like that in the streets. We became cool up the road, right? So we had been riding in county for a long time, and then we found out we got designated the same spot, Williamsburg, South Carolina, Williamsburg medium high, right? And that was my first spot, right? So I never been to prison before. All I know, got a bunch of homies did state time. My dad did Fed, but my dad was at a camp. He did a different kind of time. You know what I mean? He was at Eglin, bro. Yeah, I don't know if you know. Sweet as it gets, bro. Sweet as it gets. Sweet as it gets, bro. Right? He didn't want to do none of that shit. My dad didn't want no job, bro. You know what I mean? Like my dad was like, yeah. So
Belly went to the child.
But I'm telling you this story because when we got to the yard, right? Now my homie, the only one in my case that looked like me. The only one in my case that looked like me, right? And we weren't even cool in the streets, bro. But we got cool in there. You become roomies with somebody, right? So and then you know I was fucked up a lot of the time. And you know, hey man, make me a list, bro. I'm going to the store, bro. What you need? You know what I mean? You'll never forget that in there. I don't give a damn if it's $3, bro. If you gave me a store sheet and let me get my little what I needed to get through that week, bro, I'll never forget that, bro. Never forget that. So anyway, like this is the type of things that he was doing for me back in Citrus County, bro. We didn't even make it to prison yet. So finally we get to prison. We're riding in this van, bro. It was a dude from Tampa that had already been there and he was going back, right? And he's like trying to kind of school us. He's like, man, y'all are from Florida. Y'all are different. Don't worry. You'll find a Florida table. I'll show you whatever. But then there was a white guy in there, right? And he was so happy to see us. He was like, hey, homeboy. Hey, you know, all this shit. And I'm just looking. I'm like, yeah, all right. You don't look like one of my homeboys. You don't sound like one of my homeboys. But like, all right, I ain't no hater. I ain't got nothing against you. Like, but so anyway, I told my Cody, I'm like, listen, no matter what, we're going to stick together. Because if a motherfucker gonna try to see you, he's going to have to see me. Motherfucker, like, the whole thing is we're going to let nothing happened to either one of us, bro. We're gonna stick together. So wherever you go, now we walk into the chow hall, right? And then we already made this pact, like we're gonna stay side by side. Now this is our first time ever walking in the chow hall. And then the one dude, the old white dude, said, "Come here, guys, hey, come over here, guys. Florida's over here." He says, "Florida's over here." So and I see my homeboy, and I look at the table. I'm like, man, that don't look like anybody I grew up with, right? So I'm looking at the homie, and I'm already like trying to. I'm like, no, but he's already over. He sits down. I ain't gonna leave my dog, bro. I'm not gonna leave my dog. I sit next to him. Now I peep. You know, they in prison, like you want to know who somebody is. Look at their ink. I see double lightning bolts. I see the fancy little like you know, it's a swastika, but they make it look like, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, and I'm not trying to, whatever it is that you do in your life and your life, but that's on you. I'm not hating, but that's not how I grew up. I didn't carry myself like that in the streets. I'm not about to carry myself like that in here. So right when we leave the table, I told him, I'm like, listen, man, we're not sitting there no more, bro. We got to find our homeboys. Sure enough, we found, I had 3 co-defendants on that yard already. Motherfucking,
what y'all was, a Seabreeze case?
What's up?
Y'all was a Seabreeze case? What case y'all was?
See, I was on, I don't want to say too much because, you know what I mean? Like, but I was on, so we fell right after D-Lane and Fry. Remember D-Lane and Fry fell, right? That was my dog. They tried to tie our cases together, right? And then I fell with Book.
Whoa.
Book.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah. And so we fell, right, like right back to back. And then, I you know what I mean? Like there's certain people I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just gonna keep that where that is, and you know what I'm saying? So, but you know where I came from, who I've been around, and then like a lot of people already knew about our case when we got there. I didn't know they knew that. So right away I get here, and you know everybody already know everything. You know you can't hide shit, right?
When I came to the yard, it's the same shit. You know, the white boy Charlie Scoop was like, damn, I got all my partners I already know. Because I'm not honest, I'm on the way, but shit, they gonna set it out for me too.
So here's what I'm getting at though, Black, and I know you can relate to this. So now I find the homies, right? These are the real homies. Man, the one I do you remember a chick named Fifi from the Berg? Well, anyway, his Fifi's brother, bro, his real name was Lance. I forgot what we used to call this man. He was the homie though. He was the homie from the Berg, right? And then I know you know B. Damn, what's B's real name? He did a bunch of time, bro. Short, dark-skinned dude. Man, B, what the, I can't think of his name, but, and then there was another dude from the Berg there, Juju, right? But anyway, you know, you find the city, and then of course Tampa, you know, anybody with a 018, we're sitting at this table, right? And then for those watching, your last 3 numbers on your docket number tells you what region you caught your case in, right? So Florida had 3 regions. You had 004, which was Southern Florida, Miami. Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Then you had 018, which was the whole middle district, as far south as Naples and as far north as Jacksonville. And then you had the North County 017. So you look at somebody's number, oh, what's up, homeboy? Unless you just caught your case in that district, then you know what I mean. You're constantly searching for common ground because here you are in a whole other state around strange people. You're searching for common ground, right? So I finally find the homies, bro. But the interesting thing is, all those white dudes that were all nice to me, tried to give me, you know what I mean, packs and this and that. Like now I'm dead to them. They ain't even. I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? They don't even know me no more. Right. It's like, all right, fuck you then. But I mean, I don't feel any type of way. I bet you, like you said, I bet you don't put your hands on me. But like.
You was in Williamsburg. I was in Estelle, South Carolina.
Yeah. So you were.
And that bit was rocking and rolling back then.
So one of my Codys was there, Mook. Mook the homie.
That shit been so
I know you know Mook. I know you know Mook.
I probably do. Man, that shit so long, bro.
But bro, Mook's story is so fucked up. You know, it's a Fed case, and Mook had ate a charge and did state time, right? And like ate a charge on some shit that, you know, some dumbass shit. And then, of course, it becomes a conspiracy. So here this man thinks he's going home. Feds waiting on him. Indict him on a fresh, yep. And all that shit that was going on that got us indicted, he was locked up for all that shit. He didn't know none of that shit. But now, of course, they go and play the game. Oh, you know the dirty games they play. But yeah, bro. So like, I mean, I know you can relate in terms of people look at you and they think you're going to be a certain way, right? And it's like, and then they think they got you figured out. They think they know you. And it's like, for anybody watching this that thinks they know you, it's like, well, why don't you come take a walk on our side of the world? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they ain't gonna do that.
No, of course not. Of course not. Then they'll have to get
on some G shit. Ain't nobody. If I had a choice, if I was in my womb and an angel or something say, listen, we're gonna drop you on Harbordale, or we're gonna put you in Huntington Beach, California, and send you to Harvard. A bitch not picking Harbordale, bro. So that's what I'm saying. Like, a bitch you can't even do what we did. You can't even walk a mile. That's why I like the criticism and the backlash and, the wigger and all this. So, man, listen, man, I don't give two fucks. Because if you sitting up there typing, I already know where your mind at. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it ain't sense of me going back. I'm not gonna be screaming in my phone, turning red. You motherfucker. Man, I'm not. Listen, homie. It's like when I go live on TikTok, I got a moderator, right? Shout out to my moderator. But sometimes my moderator not able to mod. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now my shit is open. You understand what I'm saying? She always come on there. She blocks shit. She keep my TikTok very clean. Like if anybody watch me on TikTok, my TikTok is Black Label 1014. It's a lot of great shit on my TikTok. But I say that to say this. You got to be your own moderator with your mind. You feel what I'm saying? You got to know when and where and how to push them buttons, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like my moderator do the same thing, but when she not on there, my shit be open. So, the white people get on there and they start with all that, wigger and N-word and, you an ape lover. But it's like, I'm not going to sit on my phone and argue with you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just going to push this little block button. It's the same thing I operate my life. If I see you over here and you trying to fuck with me, I'm going to get out your way. I'm going to moderate this shit. You see what I'm saying? And then, bitch, I'm going to block you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to get, and that's how I be moving through life and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be one of the best bodyguards who sought after in this entertainment industry had it not been for Harbordale, had it not been for my alliance and my neighborhood with my boys and what we did and what we chose to do and what we was forced to do. And a lot of people at my age cry about not having baked chicken. You feel me? It don't compute, bro. I ain't crying about no motherfucking baked chicken, dog. My shit bigger than baked chicken.
People so out of touch.
So out of touch with reality, bro.
Really and truly.
Bitch be crying about they ain't got no gas or no gas money, but they sitting, in a car. Bitch, you know how many people wish the worst life a motherfucker living right now? It's another motherfucker dreaming about living that same life, bro.
That's right.
I'm not complaining about shit. I'm gonna go up and go get it. If I ain't got it, I ain't got it. I'm gonna find a way. And even if I didn't make a way, I'm still gonna acknowledge, who I am and reach out and put, bro, life, you could be here one day and gone tomorrow. But when I talk about the luxury of them suckers, I don't got the luxury of them suckers got it. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, bro, I'm always make sure that I got meat. They ain't I said before, I can't go lay up on a bitch couch for 6 months. It ain't no mama house. It ain't no brother house. It ain't no cousin house. I ain't got a bitch, an ex-wife, a friend. Ain't none of that shit going on. Not in my world, not where I'm from. You just handle your motherfucking business. And you better handle your business.
And you handling business, bro. You handling business. And just like you said, man, you're a lion, bro. Lions don't entertain hyenas. You know what I'm saying? You let the hyenas kiki in the comment section. That's their job, though. You got to let them be a hyena, right? Because you're going to be a lion. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't going to say his name on here. White boy, he always posts me on here. So his biggest algorithm or whatever he does is talk about white boys who want to be black or wiggers. That's his biggest thing. So he always posts me on this shit. And he post me on this shit like he waiting on a reaction for me. But every time he posts me, I always get on his comment. I say, bro, I appreciate you posting me. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you keeping relevant in your circle.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? All his followers come over here and they follow
and now they're following you.
You
yes, sir.
They
yes, sir.
Me, they be DMing me and shit like, man, I'm fucking with you. Fuck what he talking about. Like, I understand, I was you at one time. I was able to clean up my life. I didn't go to jail or whatever the case may be. But at one time, I was in the mix of things and, I was able to clean up my life. For me, this is the way I was able to clean up my life. Now, as the most polished and esteemed as, corporate with life, whatever case. Man, you just everybody on earth, man, is diversity, bro. The uniqueness and the diversity is what make this earth spin on the axle that we own.
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? Because everybody was saying everybody had the same, doctrines and shit like that, then what would we really learn? You know what I'm saying? How could you separate a lion from a hyena? You see what I'm saying? How could you see the difference? You know what I mean? And everybody got their own past. Everybody got their own skeletons. Whatever you've been through in life, again, I ain't never telling nobody like my story, the hardest thing in America. No, but what I've been through, my pain turned everything into a purpose.
That's right.
And when I once poisoned the community, I came home and started protecting and uplifting the same community I once poisoned. A lot of people can't say that, bro.
Yeah, bro. See, the difference between people like us that been through something and what we did with our pain. I built the whole podcast on this, bro, because how many times does something bad happen in somebody's life and they either throw in the towel or they make an excuse?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been to prison. I can't get no job. I don't have no opportunities. How many no's did we get? You created your own opportunities. I created my own opportunities, right? We didn't wait for nobody to give us shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, I don't know, it's easy, bro, to sit in the comfort of your life experience and talk about somebody else's. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, bro, you took all that pain, all that struggle that most people would either hide in shame and lie about, use as an excuse to be inept and just honestly fucking worthless, right? Or just let it fucking break them and become a drug addict or fucking homeless, or just let them. How many broken spirits have you seen just through people that haven't been through half the shit we've been through and just let it all the way break them, bro? So, you know, again, respect, bro. That's what this podcast is about. It's about transforming that pain into purpose. To not only taking that struggle and making it or that adversity, turning it into legacy, but bro, we're putting that shit on the resume, bro. Yeah, like we're putting it on the resume. Like, yeah, no, I'm tested, I'm proven, I've been through these things, and these things don't define me. These things don't define
my past.
You know?
My past only sharpens my future.
That's right.
Because I know what not to do now. If I ever encounter certain things that you know come my way, I have a God see fit to put certain obstacles. I know how to duck. I know how to get around. I know how to de-escalate. I know how to outthink. I know how to moderate my own life. I know how to block a bitch in real life. You feel what I'm saying? And I think that, like, for those who know me, know what I'm saying, and those who talk about me, and those who testify, have their own testimony like you do, who actually seen me in work, in action, seen my gangster era, you know what I'm saying, seen me in prison, like, you know, he a stand-up dude, you know, he helped other people in prison, you know what I'm saying, he talked to brothers, shit like this, and then now he's able to come home and like I said, just do what he do, just flourish. You know what I mean? It's a wild story, it's an amazing story, but it's an American tale of sex, lies, drugs, and violence, and then overcome. It will be an accessible example for those who are too lost, or for those who once was lost and trying to be found. You know what I'm saying? I give them the confidence. I make sure that there's a breakthrough era. I make sure that, you know, people text me and shit, is this a bot? Am I texting this manager? No, you texting me on these apps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to let somebody replace me. I'm going to be bigger than I am today because I'm bigger than I was yesterday. You feel me?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really try to make sure I touch everybody's life in some kind of way. I had my moderator, she told me one day, she said, you know, the way that people light up when you actually respond, she said, because whenever you respond to me, she said, you don't even know what I was going through in my life and how much that touched me in the time that I needed you to, and God sent you in the path to uplift me and remind me of who I am. And she said, when you two respond to them people, I know they get the same feeling. I know they get that same rush. She said, because I felt your energy through your text. She said, you got a knack, you got something special about you. Like, you got that it factor. There's people out there who can't reach people. She was like, not only do you reach people in America, because she be on my lives and shit. Yeah. She like, man, there's people from New Zealand, there's people from Switzerland, there's people in Africa. She said there's people in Europe, there's people in UK, and everybody steady streaming gold, black, gold.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro.
You feel what I'm saying?
Well, and that's why I mean, not only is it a great thing for you to be telling your story and being able to get it off your chest, right? Because that says a lot. But bro, I mean, I feel like there's a responsibility to share, because bro, not everybody takes, bro, people been throwing stones at you your whole life, bro. Your whole life, right? And you could be throwing stones back. But what did you do? You took those stones, bro, and you built. You built, bro. Every one of these role models that crashed out along the way, right? You see people falling off left and right, bro. And then what did you do? Nobody showed you how to build Black Label. Nobody taught you how to be black, bro. There ain't no fucking handbook. You took all those stones, you built a foundation, bro. You found your life purpose through the pain, and you didn't make no excuses. And the defining moment, bro. Now you're a real life example, right? So now anybody watching this, bro, could be going through something in completely different context. But the fact, man, if Black went through this and he went through that and he didn't let it break him and he didn't, you know what I mean? You're a human just like me. We put our pants on one leg at a time, right? So people need to see that, to see that it's possible, bro. It's possible to make it. You could maybe not be dealt the best hand in life, but take that hand and play it to win, man. Yeah. And there's no better example of that, bro. So please, Black, keep sharing your story. Fuck them haters, and I love that your response is like, yeah, I thank you for sharing that, thank you for this publicity. Right. You think you're clowning me? You're really showing me what an asshole you are, right? Because I'm just being me. Right. You want me to be somebody else, but I refuse to be somebody else. This is who I am. Right. This ain't no fucking show. This ain't no fucking facade. You know what I'm saying? Like this is as real as it gets, and a lot of people can't handle that, bro. But that's all good, bro. Force it down their motherfucking throat, bro, if you got to. You know what I'm saying? Because for every one of them, like you said, there's 100 of people that are holding on to your every word, and you never know. You might have saved a life today, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say.
To me, so man, you ain't understand. Like I was going through shit in my life, and then you know what I'm saying. I was turning to the bottle, and then for some reason, they're like, I'm not even in your stuff. I'm not even in your region. I'm not even in your algorithm. And you popped up on my For You page, and it was something funny that caught my attention. I went from that, and I started going here, and I started going there, and then when I started learning what you've been through and where you at, I ain't faced none of that shit. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make every day a better day.
That's right.
You feel
That's
me?
right,
That shit touching, bro.
Bro, and you know what? I call them spirit bumps, bro. Right. You know it's real because when you saying, I can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been looking forward to this conversation, man. So I want to make sure whatever you got going on, whatever you want to share with this audience, right? We're growing, but bro, we're loyal. This audience, bro, they're holding on to your words. They're watching every second. They're gonna rewatch it. They're gonna tell their friends to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So like, and tell us what you got cooking. If anybody wants to connect with you, you know what I'm saying? If anybody wants to hire your services, you know what I'm saying? Black Label, big bad bodyguard to the stars. Tell them about it, man.
So listen. So state of Florida, from Miami to Jacksonville to Atlanta, I do black truck service. I pride myself on my clients' safety, image, and secrecies, and that's what I do. I do the black trucks. You want birthday parties, weddings, homecoming, graduations, proms, airport shuttles, cruise ship shuttles. You got concerts. You got sporting events. Anything that you want to do. If you want to go to date night, you and your spouse, y'all want to spend the city, man, please get at me. I'm cheaper than a DUI, way safer than an Uber. My legacy is huge. I've been with some of the most iconic figures in America. And I'm just the best thing going, man. Y'all can catch me on. Have all the links for you.
Yeah.
But y'all can catch me in Instagram, Black_Label_services. Y'all catch me on TikTok, Black Label 1014. Y'all can always catch my Pain and the Purpose on YouTube. It's Black Label Lounge. If anybody want to connect to me, man, y'all can get in any one of them DMs. I'm gonna be the one to respond. I will put my phone number out there, but white people like to call my phone and play a lot of games. So I ain't gonna put my phone number out there on this channel. However, man, listen, I really love the people, man, and I really want y'all to understand the importance of these black trucks. It's to focus on, it's not a share ride program. My industry is more power-based and luxury.
Yeah.
When you leave your home, you didn't leave your home fucking with me. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't leave your home.
Yeah.
It's just that comfortable.
That's right.
You know
That's what's up, man.
You ain't leave the house, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really pushing these black trucks, man. It's a lot of crazy people out in the world. You know, people pulling up in all type of different vehicles and Uber and stuff. You can't trust them people. You know, we see all the time with the sexual harassment and lawsuits and stuff like that. I'm always here to protect the people. I'm a native in the Tampa Bay area. I got some of the greatest hitters gyms y'all probably never even heard of out there, you know, in the city. But yeah, man, let's catch a vibe, man. Y'all come on get these black trucks, man. I got a movie script. Anybody who knows the director, I'm trying to get a hold of Will Packard, the homie from St. Pete, Rainforest Records. I'm trying to get with him. Anybody who, Tyler Perry, I don't care who you know, 50 Cent, Boosie, anybody, Adam Sandler. Man, I got the #1 movie in my phone in script form. Right now. I need somebody to get at me.
Man, y'all better plug, man. Y'all better plug the opportunity out there.
In America, originally written, it is a classic. It's timeless. It's family oriented. It's a comedy. I swear to God, whoever gets a hold of this strip, I'm gonna make you a millionaire.
Yes, sir.
I promise y'all.
And I have no doubt. So, man, y'all better take advantage, man. Take advantage.
Somebody tell us, listen, I got the #1 movie in America right now in my phone. Somebody tag, somebody tell somebody, get me a producer, get me a director. Y'all think I'm a character now. You should see where my mind taking.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see the movie. I'm going to just tell you that. I can't wait to see it because I know it's coming. I see this motion that you got right now, bro. I have no doubt that movie is coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I got a lot of great things in store, man.
Yes,
man. I was able to get on some of these podcasts, man, talk to some, Vlad cool, Adam 22 cool, Mark from Soft Underbelly, he was cool, Matt Cox from Inside True Crime, all these dudes is real cool, you know what I'm saying? And my story is really taking a hold in America, it's catching fire, you know what I'm saying? Everybody they want to hear it, they want to feel it, like you said, like how you get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Adam 22 was like the same way, it was like, damn, bro, like, I don't know if he was trying to clown me or what he thought, but when he met me in person, like everything kind of shifted. I felt his energy shift with where his thoughts he thought might have gone. Like, damn, dude, like he really real. Like I'm fucking with his movement.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? So like it just everybody just be like, man, call me. Anything you need, black man, just call me. We trying to push for you. So it's just been a good ride. You feel me?
So if anybody wants to watch any of these episodes, because this man been doing a real podcast tour. I'm so grateful for you blessing our platform, though, bro. Right. But you know what I mean? Like I'm so grateful because I know I asked you a long time ago, and I saw you. I'm gonna be all the way real. I'm like, man, my dog making moves. He might not even be in town for this. So the fact that you showed up, bro. I cannot thank you enough.
Yes, sir.
So I want to make sure whatever you message you got for these people, bro, that we share it, and I'm gonna make sure that
pain and the purpose, man. I do a lot of pain and the purpose work on my podcast, Black Label Lounge. If you got a painful story, if you came from nothing into something, if you got something that inspire the people, move the masses, make sure y'all get at me. I'm gonna give him all my links again. Text me, let me know your story. I want to put you on my podcast. I want America to hear about your struggle. I want to see how you flourish. Man, since I've been home, I had just all that shit that I've been through. Since I've been home, I've been shot twice. Bro, no bullshit. I've been shot 2 different times. Since I've been home now, I was paralyzed from the waist down for like 6 months. No bullshit, bro. Last Thanksgiving, they gave me 1 hour to live, so I'm gonna make my phone calls. I had 2 blood clots in my lungs, and I had 1 in the right artery of my heart and my chambers. So I'm here for a reason.
Yes, you're here for a reason. Yes, man.
It's crazy.
Keep getting that story out, man.
Keep putting this story out. Cause listen, I'm on the phone, I'm on the phone in the hospital. I'm calling a couple partners and shit. I'm like, hey man, I'm just calling to fuck with you. Like, man, what's up? It's just 4 in the morning. I said, bitch, I'm out of here. Like, what you mean, Black? I said, man, the doctor said I got an hour to live. Black, man, you tripping, bro. Stop. I said, bro. So I hung up for one of my partners. He fucked around, called the hospital. So the doctor came in there on the phone with my partner, like, yo, it was Thanksgiving, last 2025 November, Thanksgiving Eve. Everybody was gone for the holidays. So they was trying to figure out how they was gonna get a cardiovascular team to get the shit, out of my heart, my lung. They just like, bro, you waited too late.
Yeah. And
they was like, man, damn, Black people crying and shit to my bro. I said, bro, I'm out of here. And they like, we talk about it today, but they like, bro, you was really just on some chill shit, like what I'm supposed to do, bro? It's my time. You see what I'm saying? But God pulled me out of this shit, man. I'm able to tell my story and give back, to the mass of the people. Yeah. All you gotta do is believe. Bro.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. You were meant to be here. There's no coincidences, no mistakes, bro. You were meant to be right here telling this story on all these platforms, telling your story. Bro, this is Live Struggle Legacy. I mean, clearly you're building your legacy, the Black Label legacy. Right. And I always ask every guest, bro, I mean, I think yours speaks for itself, but I got to hear it in your words, bro. Right. What does legacy mean to you?
Legacy is leaving knowledge and wisdom to be passed on from an individual into the mass, almost like a prophecy.
Yeah.
If you see me do it, then you too can do it.
Yeah.
And that's what legacy is about.
Yeah, man.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like just it's a real message.
Yeah.
And that's what legacy leaves. In order to be just a good leader, you got to be an even better listener. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then when we listen to our people. We listen to learn. We learn them so we can love them. So that's what the legacy is about, man. The legacy is just what it is. For the masses, leave that wisdom, man. Leave that knowledge. Let the people hear your pain, your struggle. You know what I mean? Get that shit out. And then your rebirth is bigger than that. Because like you said, after I leave, it's people still gonna be talking about Black Label. It's people right now. Anytime you bring up security, my name gonna be from I don't give a fuck where you at in all 50 states. When you mention you need security, they gonna mention Black Label. Now, right. Whether or not you can afford Black Label, that's a whole different conversation.
Hey, it's cheaper than a DUI, bro.
Cheaper than a
DUI. Know what I mean?
I promise you it is. But at the same time, that's what legacy is. Legacy is way more than popularity. Legacy is way more than notoriety. Right. But when you leave that legacy, they're going to always talk about you. They're going to always talk about you. You left wisdom, you left knowledge, you dropped jewels, you came with pain, you turned into purpose, and you gave back to the people.
That's real, man.
That's what
bro,
legacy is.
And you are the epitome of that. You exemplify that, bro. So thank you for what you do every day. Thank you for coming here and sharing your story with the platform. And keep living your legacy. Keep building that legacy, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We got this bitch, y'all.
It's Large Struggle Legacy. Make sure y'all check out Black Label on all platforms. Go check out some of those other pods. And if you need a driver, if you need protection, if you just need a vibe, man, holler at Black Label.
Know that.
If you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification bell. If you got a comment, if you want to ask Black a question, drop it in the comment section. Start a conversation. Let's do it, right? And if you're listening on a streaming platform, hit that follow button, download, save, rate us. If you're looking to support your business or promote your business, holler at me. We're looking for sponsors. And please be sure to check out the LiveStruggleLegacy.com. We building pyramids.
At Autism Acceptance All-Stars, it's more than awareness, it's action. When you sign up at the AAAS.org, you join a movement for acceptance, inclusion, and real impact. Don't miss our Memories Delivered program. We bring professional photographers right to the homes of autism families, capturing genuine moments in the comfort of their own space. Becoming an All-Star is free, but the difference you make is priceless. Visit the AAAS.org today. Be seen, be heard, be an all-star. If you'd like to promote your business on the show, please DM us for sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for tuning in. We out. Live Struggle Legacy. It's a whole movement.